Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over more information and questions about selling and a little bit of like personal, I guess, questions you could say towards like my business. I want to go over more of a broad spectrum of everything and answering kind of the simpler questions, I guess, or like the really beginning or start kind of questions. And then we can dive into like all of that stuff. But again, if you have questions on reselling, making videos, anything, really, feel free to drop it in the comments and I will try to add it in to some of these videos. So let's get into it. Okay, so one of the most, I guess, common questions I've gotten, which is really directed, obviously, personally towards my business, I often get asked, how did I start all of this? Like, had I been collecting for years or have I been doing this for years? At this point in time, it has now been 2.5 years, I believe, since we've started. And basically, I had a few pops at the time. I wasn't super big into collecting pops. I had a few like horror signatures and a few pops, that was it. But basically COVID happened and my place of work was shutting down for COVID. So my daughter's father, Dan Elf, you guys know him, he's my business partner currently. He kind of came up with the idea. He's like, hey, why don't you start like a Funko Pop page? Like, get more for your collection, post about it, talk to people in the community, build up. And he's like, maybe, you know, start selling pops. After we created the page, we spent, a few months, probably 5 or 6 months, just following people, engaging, talking. Just building relationships. That's one of the most important parts that people forget when you are building anything. You know, we spent a lot of time getting into Facebook groups, learning more about pops, buying a lot more pops, just kind of inserting ourselves to learn and grow. After that, we did a giveaway and then we started doing waffles. And then from there, we're here. So that's really, it's nothing crazy. It was really just an idea and it blows me away that people watch my videos, people follow me. We just hit 15K over on Instagram and it is still just unreal. I am so grateful for all of the support and all of the people that I have built relationships with and have the pleasure of talking to every day. So it's been a crazy experience, honestly. And it doesn't stop every day. Still, it gets crazier. Second question I get pretty often. And it's pretty general, not just specific to me, but what is the best advice that you can give someone starting out? And this is, business, this is really anything, starting out with anything. And I had to think about this for a little bit because there's a ton of great advice, but if I had to say the best advice would be mind your business, literally. You wouldn't believe how many people spend so much time complaining about what other people have and why other people are doing better than them. And you wouldn't believe. And again, how do you expect to grow your business or your brand when you're not putting 100% effort into it? Because you're putting about 50% of the effort into complaining about what everybody else is doing. There is a million people that do the same thing. And the people that are successful are the people that do those things a little bit different than everybody else. So keep that in mind. This is another question and it semi-contradicts the video that I just made. However, that was a special circumstance of many messages and horrible points being made. So I had to deflect that. But how do you deal with trolls? Now, I know that I've answered this question before. I don't remember in what video or when, but I'm gonna answer it again. Now, first to start, my personal side and my professional side are two completely different people at times. Not all the time, but there are some aspects. But one thing that benefits both of those sides is being mature enough to understand that not everything requires my opinion. Now, believe you me, it is not that I don't have opinions, I have plenty. Something that I feel like people tend to mistake for what they think is being real or honest or I just tell it like it is kind of person, when in actuality you're just being rude. There are a lot of things that don't have to do with you. They may be crazy, it may be not what you believe or trust or whatever the case is. And you still don't have to verbalize your opinion. You can still keep that to yourself. Even though everybody's entitled to their opinion, again, it is maturity and understanding that we don't have to give everybody our opinion all the time. And I get plenty of just unnecessary, idiotic comments of people just shoving their opinions right in my face. And you know what? You are absolutely in your right to do that. That is along the same lines of why I try to stay as neutral as I can with everything. I try not to be too upset or too excited or whatever the case is about any events or drama or whatever the case that's going on, unless it's something that directly impacts my business. Even then, I still carefully pick and choose my battles. Another question, which kind of, I guess, would be partially answered in the first question, but how do you build your brand and get known in the community? Honestly, the entire collecting community as a whole is massive, and even I am a little minnow in that pond, but the best way to get people to know who you are is to talk to people, follow people, support people, share things, purchase things from other people, whatever you can do to help other people. People will help you. It's not everybody, but again, it shouldn't always be for that. I think you also need to genuinely care about the community, about what you do. All of that is important. So you can't just fake it. You gotta, genuinely, like, if you're not a good person here, trust me, you will be weeded out. But if you have genuine intentions and you wanna just be a part of the community, you wanna collect, maybe you wanna sell, whatever the case is, you gotta build relationships. You gotta talk to people. Things don't happen overnight. And again, you growing depends on the support of other people. So if you're not somebody that shows other people support, then you can't expect other people to show you support. Another question we have is, how do I deal with buying collections and receiving it damaged? This is a very good question, and I definitely wanted to work this one in there. Nowadays, I don't normally pay for larger collections up front. Again, there's a lot that goes into buying a bigger collection. Normally, I'll pay for the labels, we'll send them, they'll send their boxes, I will go through everything, make sure everything is good, and then I will send them the money that we agreed on. Now, if the damage arrives and is due to like insufficient packing and there wasn't any protectors or bubble wrap and we all just kind of threw everything in a box and shipped it, well then that's going to affect our deal. And especially in the larger lots, if you don't take the time to pack and protect everything through transit, then the deal will be null and void and a new deal will have to be formed once I go through all of the inventory, figure out what is damaged, how much of the value is damaged, and then basically calculate another percentage based on the new value. I'll always give the option to send someone their collection back if they're not happy with the new offer, but that is honestly one of the only ways that you can handle that. Another question I got, which I don't know if I've ever actually answered this or talked about, but have I ever been scammed or bought a fake, and how did I deal with it? Now, I can't say that I've actually ever been scammed, so to speak. I have bought a fake pop. Early on in my trying to grow my personal collection before I ever started selling, I bought a fake Spalding off of eBay. And hence why I am so anal about ghost faces and Spaldings, because that was particularly what happened to me. But I did buy a fake one. I believe it was off of eBay. So I want to say that it got handled, like I wasn't out the money, but I honest to God don't really remember. I do remember it ended up being fake though. As far as scammed, I really don't think I've ever been scammed, so to speak. I am not a super trusting person, I guess. Thanks, life trauma, but my instinct would be more to not trust somebody than trust somebody. So again, PayPal goods and services, that was really all I ever paid with. And that's kind of why I preach about that all the time, because it truly makes a difference, honestly. And I mean, again, if God forbid something goes wrong, you're protected. But I think that's it for today's video, because I think it's getting a little bit long. Drop a comment, let me know if you have any other questions you would like me to answer in future videos. And of course, give this a like if you enjoyed it. And that's pretty much it.